After reading the manufacturing process of the special package, I finally understood why a simple backpack could be sold for a sky-high price of 6,000 yuan, and even Musk was saying that Japan is only 12 countries that protect the most ship rights. Musk is not wrong at all, only one and another package. It is necessary to meet the aerodynamics and body structure design, more than 100 processes before and after, so as to reduce the physical damage caused by the collision of 7 cars in the water earthquake. Here is a large local factory. The first step in making a backpack, first put the appropriate point of the parent drama case on the cowhide, and then push it inward. Start the industrial press. The flow batch is cut into multiple portions at this point. This is a thick calfskin that has been subjectively processed. The surface level is super capricious for attraction. With the raw materials ready, let's start making the backpack look. The direct worker pasted the hard enemy plate on one end of the cowhide, and dipped the double-sided focus on the enemy version of the two strategies. Then choose to turn it over, and buckle it together in the inner version. The inner plate belongs to the reinforcing device on the leather. The main purpose is to increase the hardness. It can make otherwise soft cowhide. The following sub has become a protective device that India has issued dozens of times, even in the event of a physical collision. It can also reduce body damage. Then divide the edges of the pips again, to increase the overall aesthetic and sophistication. Then turn one to the front and start the leather punching. After the mother tool is placed, the stamping equipment is controlled. Please train to press the leather out of a neat and consistent pattern. Now we move on to the third step to make the belt. That is, the bag belt. Don't look at him, just wait for him to be quite particular. The whole is made up of pork rind and beef patches. And then get good comfort at the same time. It can also disperse the body into a heavier grief more evenly. It is said that there is such a study of acid conditioning, mainly for the sake of growing up with the same height. This reduces the problem of descaling. Let's start installing the metal clips. This original ring can be used to hang the roast. That is, the special alarm that is the same as the local school. Just one pull can sound an alarm similar to a tight waist. Now comes the most subtle part. Making ring charging can also be called household-level shellfish. Blatantly I put a sponge shop in the mold first. Gently press until both fit snugly. At this time, another sponge was taken out, and stick it on the swimming sponge. Take out the outer layer of pure batch at random, on its 4 corners. Then stick it together again. It can be seen from the picture that it is 10 minutes to the north. It seems to take up a fair amount of space, but also because of this thickness. To make the back of the heavy load, you won't feel the comfort of being heavy. And then the merger began. The machine will be automated in the program. Fully automatic processing. It seems that there is no need to worry about the confusion of the lines of literature and science. Here, one is further north and is made into shape. Let's start making a school bag and a witch belt. That is, the front pocket. Blatantly, the planks are first stuffed into the inner layer. Then firmly pull the corners of the 4. In a slow way will be the top and bottom 2 pieces of material together. Take the plank and snap it to the point. The control device began to rush into the plank. Excess material is removed and the dry is tightly entered. The foot edges are then put in place, whether it is the mountain line or the leather text. This step looks exquisite. It's hard to imagine this into is the kilometer level of a school bag. Especially the next picture. Under the hard pull of the worker, the look of our grip looks very exquisite. Reflective strips are also installed on the edges. It's a green insurance that looks coarse, especially at night. You can see it after the light is lit. The body temperature of the school bag is greatly expanded. This is also to avoid collisions. Let's start making the side of the bag, since this position is the main focus of the school bag. So a lot of heavy blocks are added to the inner layer. The leather is then applied to the top of the weight. Phantom Grace 10, EN. And the way this thing is fixed is unique. The time worker kept tapping on the corner with a small hanging in his hand. Thus the 11 are more solid. This process looks somewhat similar to the suspension of the association. With the middle layer of raw materials open bowl, another sheet of material was laminated to the surface. That's where the bag is. This material can make the bag smoother, so as to avoid unnecessary weighting. In order to make the bag stronger, it is also necessary to seal the box again. Then the worker took out a handful of skewers and placed them on the belt. Forcefully rely on the surface of the pin to produce a round mouth. Then put a certain hole on one end, and place the belt in a certain hole. This process only needs to be taught. The two will fit together as one. Let's start installing the prison bag. As for the way to fix this position, the same choice of a certain hole pressure. Compared with Benny, the strength of a certain hole is stronger and more timely. Then the prison bag was placed. Now let's start installing the soothing belt. First of all, put shoe violent on the mother tool. Then buckle the bottom metal fittings. Immediately take the belt and place it at the pre-firing point. The next color tool will stamp a ding into place. Then it fits and fastens with the other part. This process should be done with considerable care. You can't be in a hurry, or there will be misalignment. Then take out the furniture and press the shoe once against the edge. Let it be more stable and avoid opening faces. At this time, the worker took out another planting board. Place it on the inner layer of the bag. This is done to avoid subsequent changes in the process. For the outer edge of the bag, it also needs the hands of these bridge legs to stick it. Only in this way can pass be guaranteed the first time. The possibility of graded products is greatly reduced. To say the hardest step, nothing more than the next one. Directly the master then glued the cowhide to the footstone. Took out a handful of chasing purple and kept treating Aya with a very small difference. And the survival of the fittest should be consistent. There can be no defects. Then threw the family to exert extreme force. Then attach another layer of Aya. Scorched water alone is not enough. And on the basis of the original, split into a red tether. Let's not talk about this clever combination of red and black. Looks a few beautiful. At this point, there is already a general appearance of the packet. Let's start working on the present. First of all, the thin line should be evenly drawn. Later, he relied on his hands to carry out the manual house system. You read that right, the machine is finished, and the manual room is needed. The lines of the handmade room are thicker. This is the key to the indispensable. It can also greatly improve the use of the year line. After all, a losing bag is said to last more than 6 years. But the discount and the people and the hand price of $6,000. Do you think it's worth it?